so much once again. My name is Hassan Bojang, the president of the Student Teacher Association, University of Education, the Gambia, formerly Gambia College. I am happy to share some words with you today. This training is called the Neurodiversity Capacity Building. It is aimed at improving a particular skill in the teachers, especially teachers in the making, to be posted into the field to teach our Gambian children in the areas of neurodiversity and how to be able to identify students and their different abilities to understand lessons. That is what make this session a very important one. Yeah.
Can you tell us the people that you've invited to attend this workshop? I mean, the participants.
Thank you so much. Entirely, the students. The participants are students of this institution. That is University of Education, the Gambia School of Education. Because it is an area that we believe it is going to improve teaching and learning for quality in our various schools. Because technically, we all agree that in our schools we have three set of learners. We have slow learners, fast learners, and the medium learners. And how can we, as teachers, help these people to be able to understand lessons on daily basis in the classrooms? And that is why the said people attending this session are targeted so that they will be equipped to be able to impact knowledge effectively and efficiently across irrespective of your abilities, learning abilities.
If you say students, is it open to all students of the UEG, or you have just selected some students from the UEG?
This training is the, can we say, is the curtain raiser sort of. It is the beginning, so it's like it's a sample. So whereas if it is successful, we stand the opportunity to sign an MOU with the university in the Netherlands because we are able to secure partnership with a professor in the Netherlands, and she's already in campus and interacting with the students because she's a professor in the psychology area. And we believe, having this session is going to improve a lot, especially students that are prepared. And we know every teacher that goes to the field has to be prepared by our education and professional studies area, that is the EPS, without which you are not qualified to be called a professional teacher. So we targeted the class captains of various classes, and also the committee members that are working directly with the ninth executive council, so that we'll be able to have a very good session. And then once we are able to secure this project for the University of Education, then we'll be having at least two training sessions per year. Meaning, at the beginning, the first training we might target a set of students, and if you are, lucky to attend the first training, the second cohort we might look for a new set. The third cohort, the same thing. Then that is how it is going to unfold. But we call this a pilot project, and we want it to be something that is effective, so that we can secure the package.
This is the first time this kind of training is being organized in this school.
Yes, it is the first time we have such an opportunity to train teachers in that particular area. Because in our school system, I have been a teacher for so long now, and I've been interacting with students, and I know how teachers perceive some of those students who find it difficult to be able to understand lessons in the classroom. um, we have two set of students according to the teachers. That is students that are calm and students that are stubborn. So that is how we categorize them. But not knowing that students might have learning disabilities based on different areas and factors. So I think it is very important that we are equipped with such a knowledge so that we'll be able to distinguish different types of learners, and we'll be able to have the knowledge to be able to help them to excel. And if it is autism, we'll be able to know how to help. If it is ADHD, deficit hyperactivity disorder, will be able to know how to help those students. Also, if it is dyslexia, we'll be able to know how to help those students. But first, we need to know different types of learners, what are their problems, and how we'll be able to solve those problems. And that is what this workshop here is trying to address.
Finally, what's your final message as far as this workshop is concerned?
I am happy that students are here with us to take up this opportunity, and I am advising them to not to keep the knowledge within themselves. Let them impact the knowledge with their colleagues, and also when they go to the field, let them practice the knowledge gained, so that it will not just be a gathering just to collect certificate and then move ahead, but also to impact the knowledge and impact life there in the four corners of this, let me say, in the Gambia, and in the four corners of the classroom, which is extremely very important. That is one of our target, and I think they are very opportune to have been chosen to attend this program today. And I think I also want to leave a message to the professor. I just want to say thank you for choosing to come to the Gambia to have this session with us. Um, Empowering and also equipping the Gambian teachers to be able to teach effectively and efficiently, irrespective of your gender, race, learning disability, culture, religion, etc. The list continues. I think this is very important. And also looking forward to signing an official memorandum of understanding with the university in the Netherlands, so that in the future we'll be able to have professors and students from Netherlands to come here and also equip our EPS department, also impact the students who are already studying here in the University of Education to become teachers in the nearest future.
Thank you so much.
My name is Abdullah Jallo, a teacher by profession and also a climate activist. I am the founder of Greenwall Activist Foundation, the Gambia, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Can you tell us how this link come about?
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, I was teaching in a school where I met a lot of Dutch friends, and I was invited to the Netherlands, where I met my friend Marika Schipstra, who works at HU University of Applied Sciences and works with the psychology department and student support. Then we spoke a lot about some also learning difficulties we have in the Gambia, and we did make mention of the fact that the area in psychological disorders have not extensively been covered in this country. And then that is when we discuss about her wanting to visit the Gambia, and what she can do in fact finding. Actually, she's here on a fact finding to know what do we do here and how can she come in to help in areas that she will be able to. Then that is when we visited the college and then arranged for a training of 100 students on neurodiversity and inclusive education, because this is an area which is not I would say taught in the Gambia. If you look at it, most teachers are trained on special needs, but mostly on physical disabilities like hard of hearing, visual impairment, or other physical disabilities. But focus is not put on mental disabilities like autism, ADHD, which is very important, because they are also equally challenges that deter students from learning. They are learning disabilities that are not even visible. That's what even make them more serious, because you cannot see them by looking. And then you have students who will be sitting in your class who are autistic. Some of them have ADHD, some of them have OCD, some of them dyslexia, dyscalculia, and these are all things that are making it very difficult for some of the students to understand what they learn in schools. And if the teachers who are supposed to train them, some of them have never even heard about these terms. So we deemed it necessary to come and also add our part to help these teachers here to be trained on these disabilities, so that when they see these students with these problems in their classes, they can easily identify them. And we hope that this will be something that we can do annually to organize training, because right now she is the one, this is supposed to be her holidays, but she decided to come here and contribute also her quota. And then in the future we intend to see if we will be able to do this annually to train more teachers on psychological disabilities, so that they can help their students as well in the process of inclusive education. Yeah.
Yes, now that you've created this link between the Netherlands and the Gambia College here, can you tell us what do you want to achieve from this link?
Yeah, actually, like I said, I was also a student of the Gambia College previously, and I have taught for many years. And I found it interesting that even when we talk to educationists, teachers who have taught for over 10 years, and tell them about autism, for an example, or tell them about OCD, some of them will tell you, this is the first time I heard about this. I've never heard about it. Or they cannot identify what symptoms people with OCD and all these things are. So for me, my main objective is to build a type of connection where the teachers who graduate from the Gambia College will be trained not only on physical disabilities but also on psychological disabilities. And at least I also learned that, for example, in the special need course which the teachers are done trained on here, how to teach students with special needs, it only contains one module, which is the physical disability. So my dream is to make sure, or to talk to the college admin to see to it that as the college is transitioning into a university, that they can introduce a module in special needs that can be psychological disabilities. And with that, it can lead to a powerful connection where every teacher who graduates from this institution will not only be able to handle physical disabilities but also psychological disabilities. And I believe this will be even more inclusive education, because inclusive education should be for everybody. People who have challenges of all types should be able to fit in our education system. And this includes the people who also have disabilities that cannot be seen, that cannot be physically seen, but they are mental, they are internal. And I think an education in the Gambia is mostly cognitive. We are teaching people to remember things and to mostly to memorize or to identify. So if you have somebody with a psychological disability, this is a bigger challenge than sometimes even a physical disability, because some people have physical disability but they are very psychologically, they are very strong. They can easily understand, they perform even better than some other people who do not have any physical disability. Yeah, this is because they most times they have disabilities that have not been seen, and they are not even factored into the curriculum. And that is it.
Finally, what will be your final message as far as this workshop is concerned?
Yeah, my final message is that the teachers who have been trained should use the knowledge. And actually, when I even discussed with my friend, what I told her was that I think the best place to conduct a training like this was at the college, because we are training teachers. And when you train a teacher, the message is spread. A teacher will use their knowledge to help their students. So my final statement will be that these teachers who are trained today should use this knowledge in their everyday lessons to help students, and also to begin to accept that there are more disabilities they know than the ones that they see. So actually, that's my message, and I want to thank my friend for coming all the way to conduct the training, and also the student leadership and the administration of the Gambia College, University of Education. They have been very supportive and giving us all open doors to be able to do this. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
My name is Marieke Scheepstra and I'm from the Netherlands, and I'm a lecturer at U University and also project lead in student well-being.
I learned that you've set up a link between your school or association in Netherlands to that of the Gambia College. Can you please tell us something about that link?
Yeah, I set up a link between Mr. Jallo, Mr. Abdoulaye Jallo, and me, because I was in the Gambia 3 years ago, and there I was teaching at Bimera school, a primary school or a middle school, and I was giving music classes, and there we came in contact with each other, and from that onwards, we invited him to the Netherlands to speak about climate change in the Gambia. And he spoke already a couple of times about climate change in the Gambia, and I was coming back to the Gambia, and Abdullah suggested maybe you can also speak about your topic, educational psychology.
I also witnessed a very important workshop that you've organized. Can you please tell us the motive behind this workshop?
Yeah, we have done some research also on the ground this week, and we are really seeing that in all the meetings we are having, that the physical disabilities, the students with special educational needs physically, that they are known. So people know about students with hearing loss. People know about students with vision impairment and even a wheelchair or maybe even down. But what strikes me is that they don't know about students with learning disabilities and with psychological disabilities, and this gap is yeah, it's pretty strong, I think, and it's not known. So I think addressing the gap and give some knowledge on it makes it also easier for the teachers to understand. And I really wanted to train the teachers because I think that the teachers have a big impact on students, and also their knowledge goes further than if I, for example, would train counselors. So I think it's very important to bring this knowledge to the teachers so the teachers can create an environment in which all the students are included and can participate.
You've made a call and students responded. Um, are you happy with the turnout?
I'm very happy with the turnout, and I think the students' leadership did a great job bringing so much students on a Sunday morning to the University of Education, even during an exam period. So I'm very happy with how many students attended the lecture, but also with how attentive they were and how much interaction they showed, answering the questions and making it able for each other to learn from each other.
Now that this workshop is done, what next?
Well, tomorrow I will fly back to the Netherlands. I've had a lot of appointments here, also at several universities, and I will take my time, but also together with others here to maybe see what is the next step. And it would be logical, I think, to in this stage to say there's a lack of education on the psychological disabilities, and it would be very helpful to train more teachers in it, but also to train teachers to be psychologists, because the structures here are not like that. You don't have a structure in which there is a psychologist in the system. So the teacher is the first one who sees the student, and if they are able to create a safe space and to listen to them actively, but also not judge them, then I think a lot of students will be able to stay in education and don't drop out.
Finally, what will be your final message to the viewers and also the students?
Well, I hope what when they leave today home, I hope what they understood from what I told them is that they really need a relationship with the students. So they need to invest in that, but they also need to make learning fun. And not, I mean, yes, there is discipline, and yes, you need a structure to in the classroom, and especially with big groups. But you also need to be able to make learning fun, because if we learn children that learning is fun, they also will be activated in daily life to do things they are not able to do yet, and they will try new things instead of, if we tell them learning is not fun, then they will not try anything in daily life. So I really hope that they will take that and try to find ways and forms in which they can make education appealing.
Thank you so much.
Hello, viewers. My name is Yusuf Akoli. I am I was a student at the Gambia College and currently teaching at New Joshua Lower Basic School. Yeah.
You've also participated in this training. Can you tell us what you've actually learned from this training?
Well, the training is very important to me personally as a teacher because there are a lot of things that I learned today which I've never come across or have never realized in the classroom setup. Though we normally see those kind of problems, but we don't actually know how to sort out those problems, and um, we might think that there are only physical disabilities when actually there are more of disabilities that we have. And today I have learned a lot from this training, which like for example, dyslexia. I learned something today, and when the lecture was played to me, I realized that these are some things that I've been seeing with my students, but I've never come to realize what they are and how to help them. But today, with this training, it's really helpful, and I hope I will also use this knowledge to help my students with those kind of problems in the classroom. So,
Finally, what will be your final message to the trainers and also the general student body?
well, my final word is going to be I want every student that was trained today to utilize this in the classroom setup, uh, because these are things that are going to help us, and not only you using it on the classroom setup but also sharing it with your colleagues, trying to make them understand that these are the realities that we have in our classroom setup in order for the entire school to be able to help those particular students that are affected with those kind of disabilities. So this training is important, and I want the trainers and also the administration and the staff to continue doing this to help the students of the University of Education in order for them to utilize this knowledge in the classroom setup, and which is going to help our Gambian children, because sometimes we marginalize some individuals who are actually very, very intelligent when it comes to the way they reason and the way they interact. So uh, it's going to be very important that we share these ideas with our colleagues and also within our schools in order for us to be able to disseminate the information to the general teachers body and also help the students as well.
Thank you so much.
My name is Yasin Balde, a student of UEG and major in science and SES.
You've also witnessed this important training that is held at the Gambia College here. Can you please tell us what have you learned so far?
I learned a lot of things, but I'll just mention few. That is the importance of your mental well-being. As a human being, you should put your your mental health first before any other things. I learned about different type of diseases and disorders that are affecting students in our society. And I believe that most of the upcoming teachers here today, they will put it into consideration, because this is very important. When we go to the school level, there are people who are suffering from this kind of disorders, or people that are suffering from these diseases. If we have no knowledge about these diseases or disorders, we will not be able to cater for those students. We will not be able to include them in our class. But if we learn about these things here, when we go back to the school system, we'll be able to cater for those students that have this kind of diseases or disorders in our society.
What message do you have for the organizers?
I would just like to tell them thank you so much. This is a great opportunity. People like me, I learn a lot, and I hope if I go back there, I'll be able to side with my students. Even if I see this kind of people, I'll be able to approach them, and I'll be able to include them in the classes and know what they want.
Hello, my name is Fatusar, a student from University of Education, the Gambia.
Yes, you've also attended this particular training. Can you please tell us what you've actually learned from this training?
Actually, this training helped a lot because as young teachers, these are things we frequently have problems with and issues with when it comes to students having mental health disorders and the like. And us understanding these kind of things would help us know how to figure out best solutions for them in class. Yeah.
What will be your message to the organizers?
Actually, I just want to say a very big thank you to them because I think this is so helpful, and every teacher deserves to have this basic knowledge because these are things we encounter in our classes every day. You have students whom you know that they have visual problems, they have mental health issues, we don't understand their problems. So us you giving us this kind of trainings is helping us to understand them more, and it can help us support them more. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am Mary N.F. Gomez, student of the University of Education, the Gambia.
Can you tell us what you've learned from the workshop?
Yeah, this workshop, I've learned a lot from it because it's about the mental well-being of students as teachers to be, and of course to be posted in schools. I think it is necessary for us to learn about student mentalities and their disorders. It will help us to make sure that we help the students who are suffering from such.
What message do you have for the organizers?
Yeah, I would just say a big thank you to them for organizing this workshop for us to enlighten us more about student disabilities.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Kekota. I am Usman Koli, the Education Minister at the UEG, University of Education, the Gambia, formerly the Gambia College.
Can you briefly tell us something about this workshop?
I think this workshop is something that is very, very important. Thanks to my colleague and brother Yusfa, who initiated this idea to me, which was later related to the council, and it was welcomed simply because it is dealing directly with educational matters, most especially the psychological part of every human being. So I think this is a great opportunity for all the participants who were able to make it up to this event. It is definitely going to be an opportunity for them, and I think it will go down well with them, and they will share to the rest of the members who are not opportune. But we believe that this relationship will be extended, wherein many people at the University of Education, the Gambia, will serve as beneficiaries. This is just the first cohort of its kind, and with the bilateral relationship we're going to have, we're going to extend the arms, and then the next visit or the next cohort will accommodate a lot of numbers compared to this current one we have, because this training only captured about 100 students who are beneficial, most especially because when the idea came, the selection was done at random. What we thought it wise that we have been working with people who were very supportive. So one of the pioneers were the council members of the Ninth Executive Council, which consists of 13 ministers and their advisors, making it 16 members, with some of the committee members of most of the ministries in the Students Teachers Association, and also it cover up most of the class captains. Why do we choose class captains? But these are people that have been working helter skelter with the education minister. So we don't have anything to thank them or to say to give them as a token of appreciation, but we believe such an opportunity is going to be beneficiary to them. So we went around to collect data. We are very much sorry because when the data was needed urgently, and some were not on the ground, so many were called, but few were chosen.
Finally, what will be your final message to the organizers?
To the organizers, once again, I want to thank them for their time, because when if you look at the facilitator, is a Netherlands, is from the Netherlands. Sorry. For that being the case, I think we are very much grateful to them. It's a pleasure having them here, and we are optimistic that many of these opportunities will come along the way with this relationship. I'm anticipating to see many of its kind with a larger number of people compared to the present one we are having.
Thank you so much.
Good day, viewers. My name is Salima Tukoli, a student of the University of Education, the Gambia, pursuing advanced diploma in education, majoring SES and physical health education.
Can you tell us what you've learned from this workshop?
Thank you so much for the question. I've learned so much in this workshop because I mean, as a teacher, I am a potential teacher though, because I am not yet a teacher. I'm a pre-service. I've learned a lot because going to the teaching field, as a teacher, you have to be prepared, very well prepared, because you are going to deal with different students from different backgrounds. And we have some students who are like psychologically disturbed, students who lack concentrations. And you, I having the opportunity to be part of this training have taught me a lot. My message to the organizers will be I'll just gladly say thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to learn so much from it because we've learned so much. Thank you.
My name is Ismail Asedi, a student of the University of Education, the Gambia. Thank you.
Can you tell us what you've learned so far from this workshop?
Thank you for that question. With regard to this workshop today, uh, it is simply occupied by teachers and teachers to be uh, with regard to areas they are expected to find in front of them in the teaching field. Among them are students with different characteristics, how you get to approach them, how you help students who have differing abilities from others. You may go to a class, for example, you find a student who doesn't concentrate, a student who distract others, a student who serve as a bully to others. Do you just tell the student, oh, you are nothing, you cannot? No, you don't act like that. And this is what this particular professor is here to help us about, because we are teachers and teachers to be. There are others here who are already teachers in the field, and there are others who are teachers to be. So being exposed to certain things is really important to us.
What message do you have for the organizers?
We cannot thank them enough. We are very grateful for this opportunity. We have teachers in the field for years, 10 years, 20 years or so. They don't have this opportunity. And today we are here having this. So we are saying to the professor, thank you for choosing us. Thank you for coming. And we are looking forward to meeting them more times ahead.
Good afternoon, viewers. My name is Farmata Fofana, a first year student in the University of Education.
Just briefly tell us what you've learned from this workshop.
Thank you for that question. I've learned a lot in this workshop. Um, Truly, I know that different students in schools, like we have physically challenged students, but about the difference in brain or difference in thinking, like the autism issue, that one, it's today that I have more idea about it, and I thank them for giving us this platform because now I will know how to deal with such students in my class or in the school in general.
Finally, what would be your message to the organizers?
My message to the organizers: thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. You did well, and we can't thank you enough. We really need this in the UEG or in the Gambia general.
Good afternoon, viewers. My name is Wali Sambu, the current Vice President of the University of Education, the Gambia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sambu. We've also seen to witness this important training. Can you please tell us what you've learned so far from this training?
Thank you very much. I learned so many things, ranging from the topic, which is the neurodiversity. It teaches us that human being has different type of brains, and then in human diversity, it teaches us that dyslexia, which talks about the things that affects human brain, and then through this training we are now understood that human beings, they have different brains, and then how to make sure that you should make sure you understand those problems and find solutions to always solve those problems.
What message do you have for the organizers?
Yeah, I have to thank them, most especially the facilitator, that is Marega and her team, because since the time that they started meeting us as the executive members, we open our arms to them and then extend our message that the general students will need this training, because that is why we have this training today. And then looking at this training, the turnout is very, very impressive. This shows that this thing will take us a long way, and then I hope and believe that after the training, the students can able to go out there and then make an impact to the students in their classrooms. So basically, this training is very, very helpful, and then we're hoping to have many more trainings like this so that people can able to benefit it from it.
My name is Jenama Kesani, the current Assistant Secretary General of the Student Teachers Association, that is UEG.
Can you please tell us why is this workshop important?
The workshop is very important to us with the teachers trainees because as time goes on, we will be in a field and we will be dealing with different type of students. So with this training, we will be able to know how to handle certain students in your class, different type of students, because you'll be dealing with different type of students and their thinking capacity are different. So with this training, it will be very helpful to us.
Finally, what will be your message to the organizers?
Well, the message I have to give out to the organizer is to thank them enough because this is an opportunity that many teachers didn't have. So with the teacher training, we are able to get it. So I would thank the facilitators and the students at large because without their commitment, this will not be successful.